Mice love grain, something farmers know only too well. But when you combine a voracious appetite and prolific breeding, you'll understand why they're abundant in every single field of grain the world over. It's estimated that the typical grain field houses about 25 mice per hectare in non-plague years. The problem is, harvesters don't discriminate between mice or wheat. Any mouse found in a field is at risk of meeting a gruesome death. Of course, it's often claimed that there's no way an agile mice would remain in the path of a noisy harvester. It's well known, though, that a common response to fear by mice is freezing, and this Nature paper even detailed the brain circuitry involved in such a response in mice. So based on field studies, it's estimated that about 60% of mice in the path of a harvester perish. Given there are about 25 mice per hectare, this equates to the deaths of about 15 mice per hectare per harvest. And this ignores the deaths of other species, as well as deaths that result from the use of other heavy machinery such as ploughing, harrowing, and cultivating. On the balance of probabilities, 15 deaths per hectare is a gross underestimate. Even more stark, however, is that machinery only accounts for a fraction of mice deaths. I'll say that again. The proven deaths of rodents by machinery is not the major cause of death. That honour goes to poisons yielded by farmers, especially in plague years, which tend to occur every 4 years or so. Population densities in a plague can reach up to 3,000 mice per hectare, with poisons employed capable of killing at least 80% of mice present. The fact is, a lot of lives are lost to make your bread, whether you like it or not. Ignorance here is really no excuse. And given that vegans generally believe in the equality of all animals, not believing there to be a hierarchy, the death of mice should concern them. The reality is that there's likely to be less animal mortality following a nose-to-tail omnivore diet than a vegan diet based on grains. Which brings me to the concept of intent. Some vegans argue that because they don't intend for animals to die, they bear less moral responsibility. And to me, this reeks of willful ignorance. There's no such thing as a diet for which nothing dies. Wishing otherwise changes nothing. And my response to this assertion mirrors that of Lierre Keith, who wrote the brilliant book, The Vegetarian Myth. It's time to grow up and accept responsibility for your choices.